Welcome back to the Hella Unfiltered podcast. Today we have a special guest, one of my brothers here in San Francisco, Adonis Eats, man. One of the biggest foodies in my perspective and one of the most respectable foodies in the industry right now. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, Mario. Thank you for having me here, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. You've been in the space for a minute now. You know, when we first met, it was we made the video on Mission Street. I'll put a little clip right here for you guys to see. And that was a fun day, man. And I appreciate you. And, you know, like, I feel like we've grown as, like, you know, I'll consider us friends at this point now, man. So
For sure.
I appreciate you, brother, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
What made you want to get started in the foodie industry? What made you want to get started, like, with the blogs and everything? Just, like, you know, a little background so people know.
Yeah, so I've always been into food. I consider myself a real foodie in the sense that I'm very picky about my food. And what does that mean? Well, traveling, right? You go travel. Say you go to New York. You wake up, they got the free breakfast in the hotel. I'm not trying to do that. I got my mind on something. I've already scoped out something. And so we'll go there, you know, and we'll wait in line and then we'll enjoy that food. So I've traveled a lot over a previous career and also as a young child. So I'm just very picky about my food. And, you know, fast forward, the social media food influencer game took off. You know, I'm a little bit older. I'm 46 now. And a lot of the foodies I was seeing, they're not like us, right? They don't really represent the culture like what I feel like is real Bay Area. And then some guys started coming up. And I'm like, yo, I'm tapping in with these people. And, you know, some of these people I'm still friends with. But early on, before I was doing food content, I would make a suggestion like, yo, check out this restaurant, right? Like one of the places I love. Or even classics that a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
No response. No response. I'm doing this for my private account.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, I just said, you know what? I'm going to start doing my own content. And when I first did content, my brother-in-law, shout out to Russell, he was doing content on real estate out there in Vegas. And he was like, I don't think there's no point in doing it. Like, it's kind of hard to get a following nowadays. You kind of missed the boat, you know? That was kind of like the conversation. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I was like talking to my barber, shout out to D-Rock, Black and Gold Barbershop in Daly City. And he had a little bit of a following. And so he taught me how to do like TikTok. Just, you know, do the TikTok, film it, edit it, and post it. One day, randomly, I went to this Tongan restaurant in San Mateo, and they're playing Bob Marley music, and I'm watching the chefs, I'm watching the people in there, and they're kind of just grooving. And I just took out my phone, and I started filming it. I posted it on TikTok. It did pretty well. So I took that over later on, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and run this Instagram. I plotted it. I was speaking to a friend who had over 100,000 followers, and I got tips on how to do it. So I just went ahead and put it out. But I guess in essence, why I started doing content was I wanted to share the restaurants that I felt like needed the love that were not being shared.
Yeah.
And what I come to find out is a lot of the foodies out there, they would go to a restaurant because they were getting paid to. And so a lot of the classics, the spots that have been around, they don't have to pay nobody. Or maybe they just don't know the game. So in essence, you could say that I came into the game to support the restaurants I love that didn't have no attention.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
That's fire. What do you consider a foodie?
Well, what I consider a foodie is just somebody who's very picky about their food. You know food. For example, let's say you know pizza, right?
Yeah.
And you grew up in San Francisco, and you're picky about your pizza. But we have a certain type of pizza here in San Francisco. It's really airy. The crust is big. That's like the old school pizza we have here. I'm thinking like Toto's, which, shout out to Toto's. They hold the claim of being the first pizza delivery service in San Francisco. It started off in the Mission District. Yeah. Really? Later on, they opened in Daly City, which is now the movie theater, and then that one shut down, and you have San Bruno remaining. But you really have to like travel and get out there, right? Especially go to New York, where they're known for their pizza. And so when you travel, you start to understand the little nuances, the differences between, say, New York pizza and San Francisco. San Francisco, like I said, is very airy. But in New York, it's very dense. There's no air in it. The cheese is different. I don't know. They say it's the water.
They say it's the water, right?
Yeah. But it's just the little nuances, you know? And I think when you have a wide palette for things, then you come to know what you like, right? And not to say that what I like is the best. It's just what I like.
Yeah. So there's foodie and then food critic. Break down the differences between a foodie and a food critic.
So a foodie, like I said, is just someone who is like a food snob. Like they're picky about their food. Like they'll go out of their way. A lot of the foodies I know are just older people. It's easier to do when you have a little bit of money, you got a job, and it's something you can do with your family, right? So a lot of older people really do that. They travel, they're picky about their food, right? A food critic is somebody who gets paid to actually do reviews.
Okay,
Like,
so they get paid.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Cesar Hernandez off top, right? Soleil Ho was another popular one who worked for the Chronicle. She's still over there doing cultural food stuff. But these people are actually getting paid by their employer, and they go out. Historically, they do it mysteriously. They do it undercover so they could experience the food and the service without bias,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. So like real journalism. Then.
Real journalism.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gold, rest in peace, right? Los Angeles. He was really known for his writing. He wasn't a trained chef, but he had a way with words and a way of, you read his articles and it takes you into that experience, you know, it takes you into the culture. And that's a real food critic in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you consider like people that are on TV shows like Anthony Bourdain, you know, that one guy with the spiky hair, what's his face? Like Food Networks, would you consider them food critics or just foodies?
That's a good point. I would say that they're both.
Okay.
They're both. With their cases, I like to think, right? I don't know. I've done a little bit of research on them that they pay for the food. At least the network pays for the food, right?
Yeah.
And we have like a new breed. And I think I know what you're getting at. We have a new breed of foodie influencer. And I believe that people like Anthony Bourdain, they really started this, right? Because Anthony Bourdain is one of my inspirations. He's really the one that got me.
GOAT.
He's the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
And he did this thing where you're going to experience the food with him, but he had a way of words, like his voiceovers.
Yeah.
And he also had networks all over the world. So he would say, go to LA, get with somebody, maybe another local chef, and then that chef would take them around to the spots that they want to do, right? But he was really just showing the culture. So I actually try to do the same thing where I'm going to take you to eat, and that's the gateway to the conversation.
Yeah.
But it's really about the people and the businesses and the culture behind it.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that's how you do it a lot different.
Yeah.
You show like what's going on. Like you're not just getting the food and then going to sit in your car. And that's why I was like thinking to myself last night, I was like, God, a lot of these like food reviewers, they just they get the food and they go sit in their car and they do a review. And that's like a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's only half the experience. You know what I mean? Like sitting down in a restaurant, having a meal, laughing with people, talking to a waitress, talking to the owner, and feeling the vibe, the music, like it cuts off a whole disconnection of like what is going on with this dish. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do you feel the same way? Like,
Yeah.
Do you see that?
And I do want to point out, like, I don't want to discredit people who are food critics and, you know, they buy it with their own money and go into their car. But there's definitely levels to it like anything else, right?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to take the food and you're just going to say, that's good? Or are you going to break down the little nuances to it? You know, I can't really break down the nuances to it, you know? I just know what I like, and I have a wide-ranging palate. Like, I could... Homeboy Tito Comedazzo, somebody that I'm doing content with now, he pointed it out, you know, observing me, And that when I eat something, I'm being really open and I'm tasting the food like for what it is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it is because I've eaten with you and I watch you eat.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, he's really taking bites. You know, he's chewing. You know, like some people when they eat, they just and they just like 2 minutes later, their food's done. You know.
Exactly, and I point out the thing. There's levels to it, right? Because think about this. You ever heard about like the 5-year-old that only eats chicken tenders and
my
fries?
Son. Yeah, my son.
It's pretty common. Because when I started doing content, I would actually get DM'd by a lot of people, and they would say, hey, are there any recommendations you have that has good food, but they have chicken tenders? Because my kid only eats chicken tenders.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I think there's levels to this, right? Some food critics, some food reviewers, some food reviewers, they're literally still looking for chicken tenders and fries. Mm-hmm. They like what they're accustomed to. Mm-hmm. They haven't built a palate yet to be open to taste new things yet, right? So, for example, fried chicken. Mm-hmm. You like fried chicken that tastes similar to what you grew up on. But there's lots of ways to make fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to be open to that, right? It's just...
if you want to be a real food reviewer.
A food reviewer.
But see, this is where this is where I feel like a difference too is like, what if you're allergic to food? Can you be a real food reviewer? Because like Keith Lee, he's allergic to shellfish, right?
I see.
He's one of the biggest in the world, but he can never eat shellfish. That's like a whole category he cannot be a part of. You know what I mean? So can you have like, you know, can you be allergic to food? Like peanuts, like if you're allergic to peanuts, you can have peanut sauce. Peanut sauce is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you know where I'm going with it?
Yeah, I think, again, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure there's a chef somewhere that reviews food and he's a vegan. She's a vegan.
Yeah.
Right? So they just do vegan food. Mm-hmm. That's fine. You know, again, there's levels to it. But I think in my opinion, a good food reviewer has an open palate and is tasting the food versus restricting the experience to what you know. A good example of this that I actually learned from is I was invited by 7 Mile. Shout out to Vanessa Garcia. 7 Mile is a historic bar in Brisbane on the corner of San Francisco, Daly City. It's like the Tri-City area there off of Bayshore. Okay. And the owner's Filipino. They've owned it for over 20 years. So they have the typical bar American food, but they introduced Filipino food. So not too long ago, I was invited to be a judge on adobo. Have you had adobo before?
Bro, you're not from the Bay Area if your best friend isn't Filipino. Okay? I don't care what anybody say. You're not from the Bay Area unless your best friend is Filipino. So yes, I've had plenty of adobo.
Likewise, it's like I feel like you're not from the Bay Area if you don't have a friend that's Latino and you got introduced to pupusas, right? Not burritos. Burritos is kind of basic.
Burritos kind of basic.
It's
you
basic.
Burrito anywhere.
Yeah.
But the tacos are.
Yeah, but the adobo, they brought in all these contestants of adobo, and they all look different. Mm-hmm. Some are saucier, some have less sauce, some are chicken, some are pork. Mm-hmm. Yeah, coconut in some. Mm-hmm. Now, out of all these, there was maybe 2 that was similar to the adobo that I grew up on, right? And not to say that adobo is the best, but it's what I like. Why? Because there's a nostalgic feeling to it. It's what I'm accustomed to. So the challenge for me was tasting these adobos and not rating it on what I know as adobo, but tasting it. Mm-hmm. What is good? What is different, right? So that was a challenge for me, but I learned a lot from that process.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like that is one bias maybe food critics or foodies could have. You know what I mean? Like, think of the movie Ratatouille, right? Okay. And remember they had the Ratatouille at the end, and the critic goes in, and he's like, "Oh, this reminds you of my childhood. You know, this is the best one I've ever had since the childhood." You know, it has a flashback. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that could be like one bias. You know, this one could be just as good as this one, but this one could win because, you know what I mean, that person just leans a little bit more that way.
Exactly. I think those are all things that we have to consider, right? Are you judging it on authenticity? Mm-hmm. But even what does that mean, right?
And I feel like that goes with like anything. It's like it could even be like fighters. You know what I mean? Like fights. Like there's been plenty of fights where it's like, oh, this person should have won, you know, but this person won or whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like it goes like almost anything. You know what I mean?
totally.
So you were in the Marine Corps. Were you a foodie in the Marine Corps? Because I know your food is limited. when you're in the military, your food is limited. When you're on base and when you're, wherever you were stationed, when you're back home, it's like, back to mom's cooking or whatever. But how was it being in the military during that time of your life?
That's actually a good example because I think that attributes a lot to my food experience now. Mm-hmm. And here's the big debate. Who has better burritos or who has better Mexican food, right?
Yeah.
The Bay Area or SoCal, right?
Getting controversial now.
Yeah, so 1998. Okay, so I've always loved Mexican food. I grew up on it. I grew up in the Outer Mission, started off in the Excelsior District. My mom was taking me to taquerias like as far back as I could remember. Mm-hmm. It's literally my favorite food. I'll take Mexican food over Filipino food most days.
Oh, wow, okay.
Real talk. So when I jumped on the plane and I got sent to boot camp, the military, the Marines gave us vouchers to eat at the airport before we report to the bus pickup.
Yeah.
And so I took my voucher automatically. I'm like, I'm in SoCal. I'm in San Diego. So I went to this taqueria that was in the airport, right? And I ordered a burrito. And when I got the burrito, it was like about that big. And I bit into it. I was like, what is this? It was all asada. Mm-hmm. Maybe some asada and some pico, right? Uh-huh. But I was like, what is this? I didn't like it.
Yeah.
For the next maybe 2-3 years, that was my experience with Mexican food in San Diego. I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And every time I'd go home, first thing I would do would hit the Excelsior. I'd hit the Excelsior and get me my burrito that tasted like home. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I met my wife, and she put me on to carne asada fries.
Next level.
And I used to see that all the time. I would go clubbing with friends I met down there, and they would always order that. I'm like, what is that? That's like some American stuff, right? But my wife introduced me to carne asada fries. It was Alberto's, and then I think it's called El Nuevo Milenio now. It's a national city in the hood. Mm-hmm. And I still remember she was like, we got to get the fries extra crispy. And I fell in love with it, right? And I think what it was because of my relationship with my wife, I opened up my mind to experience it the way she experienced it. I fell in love with it. And then I fell in love with Cali burritos, which is your burrito with the fries in it.
The fries in it, yeah. San Diego style.
Exactly.
Yep.
So now the way I look at that, right, is Bay Area versus SoCal food it's regional. They're different.
Yeah.
They cater to the community. Mm-hmm. So when I'm home, I go to my El Farolito, I go to Guadalajara, Mexico Typico, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the burrito with the beans and the rice and the sour cream and all that, right? But when I go to San Diego, I really appreciate the Cali burrito, the asada fries, or just straight up tacos. They do tacos really good because the tortillas are really fresh. Over here, they're like mass produced. Down there, they're made in some little shop.
Man, you go to a taqueria down there or like just on the corner and they'll be making their own tortillas in the street right there. And like, you don't find that in the Bay.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like tacos in SoCal are better because they just have that one little element. It's like they make their tortillas. They have a lady just cooking tortillas. They got the trompo, like the pastor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got all that but that element of just like the tortilla lady there, I'm like,
I think that's what they got good going on is because you have to have quality asada. You have to have good tortillas. Mm-hmm. Because it's not the kitchen sink where you're throwing everything in here.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is a lot of these Mexican taquerias out here, sometimes they use cheaper cuts to get whatever's on sale. But they could do that because they can disguise it with all the sauce. Bay Area, we love our sauce. Yeah. We do that in our Mexican food and we do that in our sandwiches. Think about our sandwiches. We rely on aioli. We rely on garlic spread. Mm-hmm. But when you go to the East Coast, it's plain, simple ingredients. The bread, the cheese, the meat, it's quality ingredients.
Yeah. I definitely have to agree on that. We put sauce on everything because, we're so saucy out here.
Yeah.
But I was like, I had like La Victoria sauce I got from San Jose. Like,
orange sauce.
Like if you know, you know. And bro, I got a bottle of that and we put that on everything. I'm like, I got a sandwich, I got a burrito, you know, like I'll put on some pasta, some noodles. Like I don't know why. Like I just put it on everything. Like just put sauce on everything. You know what I mean? But maybe it's just our food's a little drier up here.
But that's what we do over here, and that's
Yeah.
fine. It's a regional thing. I could appreciate Bay Area food for what it is, and then when I go to New York, I appreciate their food. I go to San Diego. I think that's what it takes to be a good food critic.
Yeah. So when you in New York, what are the top 3 spots you're going to?
That's a good question.
And we could go by different flavors, you know, like maybe like one pizza, one Asian spot, and then like maybe like, you know, a Latino spot or something.
Yeah, you know, for me, there's so much stuff in New York City, and there's so many things that are opening all the time. That for me, it's about what am I getting. So I'm not really going to the same spots over and over, right?
Maybe the most memorable.
Most memorable.
Yeah, we'll go off that because, you know, food has a lot to do with memories, you know.
Yeah, that's a good question. One spot I've been a repeat at is the steakhouse. I'm having a memory lapse here. What is the name of the steakhouse where they cut the steak again?
Prime rib?
No, steak. Peter Luger's.
Peter Luger's?
Yeah, I'm a repeat visitor to Peter Luger's, and more recently, I was able to take my kids over there for the first time. Peter Luger's, you know, I did a video on it, and people are like, yo, that's not the best, or it's gone downhill. You know, we hear that about a lot of spots,
There's
right?
always one comment, you know.
Always. But for me, it's really the place. There's history in that place. Peter Luger's has so much history in Brooklyn. And so I'm paying for that experience. It's not just the food. You can always find better food, but it's about the experience. I love the Peter Luger's experience. You get the steak, they chop it up for you. At the very end, you get a sundae. You share that with your wife and your kids. It's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm paying for.
Yeah. For me, it's Alexander's. Yeah, that's my steakhouse in the city. Have you been there?
You know what? I actually have not been there. The one time we did have reservations to go there was for my birthday, when my last child, who's 9 now, was birthed. And the story on that was we had reservations for my birthday, and last minute, my wife just felt like that's a lot to do right now. She was feeling her pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what, that's fine. So I canceled the reservations, and we ended up eating in at Toto's in San Bruno. And that's where my wife started going into labor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So maybe it was better spot to go in labor. Like downtown right here, hella traffic.
Exactly.
You're like,
yeah.
ooh, that steak was good. We're
Yeah.
going into labor.
Yeah. New York City, another one is chopped cheese. I think that's a new one you got to add to your list. It's a fairly newer thing, I think in the last decade, maybe 15 years.
Oh, yeah, the chopped cheese, man.
Haji's is a spot. What else? Did I talk about pizza? Lombardi's, I think, is one spot that comes to mind. But that's what I like to do when I go to New York. I'm going to get like a chopped cheese today. Which one are we going to go to, right? Try something new. Get a pizza. I've already done that. Let's go there. You know, let's get a steak, right? And then what is it? The street carts, right? The halal carts. It used to be the halal guys.
Yeah.
But halal guys went franchise, I believe. And what is the name of the new spot?
You got to be careful with those halal spots. The last time we went to New York.
What is your favorite place in New York for the halal?
For the halal, you know, I usually just be going to the cart, whatever one's close, you know what I mean? But you got to take a risk. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes you get diarrhea. Like last time. Oh, shit.
Did you have Adele's famous halal?
No.
So that's like the new spot. It used to be halal guys, and then they went franchise, and then so now it's Adele's. That's the spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the spot we went to, the pizza spot we went to, so we stayed over in Times Square, Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
We're across the street from it. It wasn't planned at all. Like I was like, most cheapest Airbnb, let's just go, right? We're across the street from the Madison Square Garden. Oh, perfect. We went there, filmed content. It was like while the Knicks were playing. And then we came back and like we were like literally on top of a historic pizza spot. When I go to New York, I only really try to eat at the historic pizza spots because there's like 10 of them in like Manhattan, right? Yeah. And it was like New York Pizza Suprema or something like that. And bro, we ate there every day. Like every day. Like I just ate pizza the whole time. Like I was like, why do I need to go anywhere else? You know what I mean? I literally just stayed in like 4-block radius. I was like, we had a bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning, and then we came back, Pizza Suprema for lunch and dinner.
What do you think it is? You think it's the water?
Bro, I don't know what it is. I like the thin crust. You feel me?
The dense crust.
Like it's just like we don't get too much the charcoal oven, that real oven, like with not like like the charcoal
Fire brick
oven, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it has that like layer underneath the crust, and it just you hold it and it just crunches.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's something about that. It's just like
but it's still chewy in the middle.
It's still chewy in the middle,
Yeah.
but yeah, like there's something about that, bro. It's like it's so good, and like the pepperoni has to be good though too, because it's like greasy and like it's greasy.
Yeah. Last time I went out there, we had Scars, which is owned by a gentleman. I think he's a DJ. He's kind of known like in the hip hop scene, and it's a little bit of a cooler hipster spot. But I like the pizza. It's really, again, dense, not airy, good quality ingredients. New York pizza is actually another interesting thing. A lot of people from the Bay will go to New York and they'll say, like, I don't know what it is about New York pizza. I don't like it. Well, it's because you have the palate for Bay Area pizza, and that's fine.
And that's fine.
And that's
you know
fine.
what I mean? It's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand because like things get hyped up a lot, too. One place I want to go to is Chicago. Get some real Chicago
pizza.
deep dish style pizza. People say it's overrated, but I'll find out for myself.
That's another good example, right? Like it's Chicago pizza, they do cornmeal. It's a different style of pizza.
I love cornmeal. They had one Chicago style pizza here in the city. I forgot it was Patsy's.
Oh yeah, Patsy's, yeah. Hayes Valley.
Yeah. They had one in Noe Valley we used to go to because I used to work there back in college. And then like that shit was fire.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like the cornmeal.
Yeah. You had Zachary's.
Zachary's, no.
I like Zachary's.
Okay.
Patsy's good. I preferably like Zachary's.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but again, it's like different styles of pizza, right? Like I could appreciate all of them. And if we're gonna rate pizzas, let's rate Chicago style pizza in its own category, right? Let's rate New York style pizza in its own category. That's how I look at things.
Yeah. What were you eating? Go back into the Marines. What were you eating in the Marines, like on a daily?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
That's where I fell in love with In-N-Out. We didn't have an In-N-Out in the Bay yet. When I first 98, I want to say they opened the first In-N-Out in the Bay.
They would let you go off base?
Oh yeah. And in fact, when I first came on, I was put on base, but I had just bought my first car. And when you're not on duty, we call it Liberty, and you go out, you explore. So In-N-Out was a big deal for me, but also In-N-Out was one of those things when I first got it, I was like, nothing special, but it grows on you, them animal style fries or whatnot. Yeah. And what's funny is back then, before I met my wife, I would get Mexican food, right? And the spots I would go to in my neighborhood in Oceanside, they already knew me, and they would throw beans and rice in there for me and try to do it Bay Area style. They already knew me. Sometimes I wasn't in my local area, and I would tell them to throw the beans and rice in there. They would look at me crazy.
Yeah, I'll pay $1 for the beans.
Yeah. But the food scene in San Diego is popping right now. When I was in there in '98, things were more like taco shops.
Yeah, the first California burrito I had was in San Diego. I was going to San Diego State. My cousin was going there, and he wanted me to go there, so he had me come visit for the weekend. I was like, oh, damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You ever had tacos El Gordo?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I like tacos El Gordo. Certain location, Chula Vista. I don't do Vegas. I don't have no issue with it, but it's just different. I think it comes down to the ingredients, right? Like, for example, just do this. Get a quesadilla from Chula Vista, Tacos El Gordo, and then go get a quesadilla from Las Vegas. The tortilla and the cheese just tastes different. I think it's Oaxaca cheese they use in San Diego. San Diego, another thing is Filipino food. I think San Diego has better Filipino food than we do here in the Bay.
Really? I didn't know they had a Filipino scene down there.
Yeah, well, National City is like the Daly City of San Diego. It's also a big Latino community there too.
Yeah, close to the border.
But they have this sisig. You heard of sisig?
Sisig, yeah.
Okay, so the Bay Area has a certain type of sisig. There's sisig down there, which is also, both of these sisigs, the Bay Area and San Diego, are not traditional like originally in the Philippines. But their sisig is different. They use lechon, straight lechon chunks, versus ours typically is like a cheaper cut of shoulder pork or something like that. And they rely a lot on soy sauce and vinegar and jalapenos down there. They use calamansi, they use onions, they use natural things that make it sour. Because sisig means sour. Yeah.
Have you been to the Philippines?
Twice. Not enough to speak on because the last time I went there, I was 15 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and before that, I think I was 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you want to go to the Philippines?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, because that's on my mission. You should
Yeah.
come with us.
Maybe we should go together.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And we go eat some puck.
I'm down to try.
You down to try?
I'm down to try.
Let's try it.
Yeah, I'm down to try.
All right.
Yeah, the last time I went to the Philippines was the previous president, Duterte.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wanted to go during that time, and my mother was like, don't come out here.
Yeah, it was
There's a lot
bad.
of stuff going on. It's bad. Yeah, and where my family's from is like Manila, Metro Manila, and that was like ground zero for all the negativity that was going on.
Yeah.
So my mother told me, don't come over here.
I feel like it's pretty cool now, right?
Yeah, and I think it depends on where you're going too. Like I know we got typhoons and stuff over there. There's a lot of damage, but there's lots of places that are unaffected. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about that one streamer he got arrested in the Philippines and he's been in jail now?
He's like Russian or something like that, European.
Yeah, something like that. Vlad. Dude, what is his name,
Yeah.
Freddie? That one guy that got arrested in the Philippines? The streamer? Is it Frank? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He went there to disrespect him.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Yeah.
It was disrespectful.
Yeah.
There's that stereotype about ugly Americans, right? Because we
Right.
go to other countries and we act a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer that we have to go into a culture and respect the culture.
And then, like, that's the thing about Americans is like, dude, you can't treat other countries like it's America. Like in America, like, yeah, that might fly, maybe not. Who knows? You know what I mean? But then like people think they could go to other countries and act like that, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and we already have a bad reputation for being like dumb Americans, like, you know, like just like rude and stuff. You know, like we already have that stigma.
Yeah, and we could take that down to the micro level here in the Bay Area too, right? Like a lot of people don't like transplants, and I think the stereotype is transplants come in and they make it their way.
Yeah.
Instead of coming in and embracing the culture and adding to the culture and respecting the culture, they bring their own stuff and they change things.
Yeah,
And I think that's just what Americans tend to do.
definitely. Vitaly, that's his name. Vitaly.
Oh, Vitaly, yeah,
Vitaly.
yeah.
I don't even think he's American though, but he just like lives here. But yeah, that's a transplant thing, you know. Like I ain't gonna cap. Like I got a lot of friends that are transplants. Like if you live in San Francisco, you're gonna know a transplant or two. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. And San Francisco's always been that city.
For sure.
It's like New York. It's like always been people always moving in, people always moving out. It's just that type of city. You know what I mean? But however, like Oakland and the outskirts and East Bay, South Bay haven't been like that. You know what I mean? Like San Francisco, there's always going to be people moving in, always people moving in. It's like a commuter city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People will move here for a year for work and then like move somewhere else.
I love my transplants, you know, but there's a right way to do it, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Off top, like I'm thinking about Kaim Baker, the City Eats. He's not from here, but he's been here for a long time. But look at what he's doing for San Francisco and the Bay Area.
City Eats? Who's this?
The City Eats.
City Eats. Okay.
Yeah, so he feeds the houseless. He organizes it. It's a nonprofit that's really big in San Francisco, and he's gotten a lot of accolades for what he's done. He's a transplant. He's from LA, but he's here, and look what he's contributing to the culture. And I think that's a great example of how you move into a place and give.
Yeah, especially if you want to be here for a while.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just like living here and just being some smug person, you know what I mean? Just living in your high rise or whatever.
Right.
Like, you bring nothing. Right. You know what I mean? Like probably barely spend your money here. Yeah. And like most of your money just goes to like your big corporations or whatever. Yeah. You know? So when people are like starving, we all know what's going on in the streets.
It just comes down to community, I think. You know, when you come into a new circle or when you meet someone new, what value are you adding to that relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For a foodie, you're pretty fit.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
I'm a little overweight right now, though. I'm probably
he's overweight, guys.
Yeah.
Look at these arms. Look at these forearms.
Because I haven't been. So my thing is jujitsu is kind of a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But I'm experiencing a lot of arthritis now, so I'm not stretching like I normally would. So I'm not doing my jujitsu, which is my cardio.
Yeah.
So lately, all I've been doing is lifting weights in my living room. I got the weights that I picked up during COVID.
Yeah. You know, do what you can at the time, man. Yeah. But like, what's one tip you would give people, maybe other foodies, you know, that need to stay in shape while they're filming?
Oh, you just got to work out regularly. You know, 3 times a week at least. Go for a walk. You know what I mean? If you don't want to start running, because your joints are messed up or whatever, like walk around the neighborhood. Like get active. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very important. You know, when you're a foodie, you're going to put on some weight. I've obviously put on weight since I've been doing this Adonis Eats thing now 2 years. If you look at my pictures from before I started, I was a lot slimmer. But I haven't been doing my cardio. So you got to get active. You know what I'm saying? It's balance. Yeah. Everything's balance.
How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? I noticed you have a cauliflower ear in the right ear. Everyone, check it out. So he has a cauliflower ear in his right ear only. Left ear is still good. Don't ever mess with people that have cauliflower ear, by the way. So you will get your ass whooped.
So in fact, I've actually collied both. And I got this one fixed. So when it blows up, you're supposed to go to an ENT.
And they lance it and all that.
They lance it and then they shape it again, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in fact, I think before I had the cauliflower, my ears popped out more. And then I got it fixed. And then I actually got both ears fixed. And then the third time it happened, I think I was already a brown belt at the time. So I was like, you know what? I've already earned it.
Yeah.
So I kept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had cauliflower ear in high school.
Wrestling.
And my mom was like, I was like, Mom, just leave it, you know, because I want to be like badass.
Let me see.
It's not, we took care of it. Like
Okay. You went to ENT?
I went to we just went to Kaiser.
Okay.
And they just lanced it. She's like, no, you're not having cauliflower. I was like, you know, I want to be badass, you know?
Yeah.
And so I do have scars like in here. I can still feel like inside my ears.
Yeah.
They drained it and everything.
Yeah.
But she took care of it pretty fast.
I will say it sucks if you got cauliflower ears, but you're not skilled.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Because I know some people like that because they were very vulnerable to it. You know, if you got stiff ears, you're vulnerable to it. But you got big floppy ears, you're not so vulnerable to it.
Yeah, I the helmet I was wearing was like my brother's from like the 80s or 90s, and like,
it was loose.
It was just, I don't know, it just was not working. Like it was like retro, you know, so it was like old, and I just like thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the time I had cauliflower. That shit hurt. I remember like sleeping on my pillow and then like waking up in the middle of the night like screaming because like, you know, after they lanced it, like just like I don't know, it's just like fucking. I remember just screaming. It was terrible.
You ever trip off the Japanese and their cauliflower ears?
No,
they don't lance it. They don't fix it.
Yeah.
Here we drain them. Right,
yeah,
you got a lot of bubble in there, so this is actually what it looks like when you drain it, right? It's shriveled down.
Yeah.
But when you get the cauliflower, the skin basically separates from the cartilage, and then now there's room for the fluid to go into in the blood, and that's what creates that bubble. But the Japanese, if you look at them, it's a big symbol of pride for them, so they leave it alone. That's why their cauliflowers are huge.
Yeah. I mean, like, shit, if you can't fit headphones in your ear. Like,
I got lots of friends like that. Yeah.
Don't mess with that person. Don't make them pissed off.
Yeah.
What's going on for you next, man?
Oh, as far as next, you know, I'm just going to continue to ride this wave with the content. I really want to push more into showing more people in the culture. So now it's not just about, like, finding new food, but, like, let's say with you, Mario, you know, like after this interview, man, I want to go take you somewhere where you haven't been. You know what I mean? Introduce you to that. Likewise, if I came to your community, I want to eat with you. I want you to take me to a place that you like, and I want to hear it from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? And again, to me, there's lots of good food out there, man. Let's be real. In the Bay Area, there's always new places that are opening. At the end of the day, for me, man, it's about the community and the connection, you know, not only with the businesses themselves and the chefs behind it, but people like yourselves, people that I connect with. That's what I want to do more of. I got another, I'm doing something with Duck Fat Productions, the homie Brian Lee, shout out to Brian, upgraded footage. We're running some episodes of that. I'd like to maybe do more interviewing, telling more stories of, you know, the Bay Area, particularly the Filipino-American community growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, Daly City, San Francisco. Document stories, right? Because if we don't document these stories, then they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
And that's very important for our American culture, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have different perspectives in America.
Yeah. I could see that, man. Like, I could see you doing some more in-depth stuff. Yeah. Like, you have the voice for it, you know? Like, you just have that, like, good voice, you know, for that production, and like you have the look. You know what I mean? Like, I think you're the guy for it. You know
I appreciate that,
you know
Mario.
I mean? Like, just look at this guy. Look at this guy. Come on. So
yeah.
I think that'd be great, man. Just go in depth, like keep going after those restaurants, do what you love and keep doing it, and like higher production slowly.
Yeah.
I think that'd be sick, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, there is the whole other side of the internet, you know, you have been having to deal with. It's been following you around. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Which part? I feel like a lot of things are following me around.
I know lately you've been popping off, man. Ever since that live stream, man. Thanks for inviting me to the live stream, dude. Literally during the live stream, when you said that shit like to Tuck, I was like, oh, you got like real. I was like, he got real dad mode energy on him right now.
You know, at the end of the day, whatever transpired there is just content. Some people are going to look at it like I called them out. But in actuality, the facts is I put out content from a podcast I did with the homie Believe, right?
Yeah.
And he left a comment on my TikTok saying, I want to argue this. So then I said, why argue? Let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion on live. So that's what led to the live. And then I hit you up because I wanted to have different perspectives. Yeah. So we got us Foodies. He wanted to argue my perspectives. I said, okay, let's just take it to the live. We're not going to keep this in the comments. Let's make content. Yeah. Let's create engagement for everybody. Yeah. I reached out to you because you're one of the biggest content creators in the Bay. You're a filmmaker. Reached out to my boy Tito. Actually, Tito Comadazo, we were already talking about doing something similar, but we wanted to do it live. We were actually talking about it when that Carla Lab situation happened with the Chinese restaurant. So we had been talking about this maybe for like a month or two. And so Tuck coming into my conversation just gave us an opportunity. That's kind of like how my mind works with creation. Yeah. I kind of go spur of the moment. I'm like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hit you. I text you like hella last minute. I'm like, hey, are you available next weekend? Right?
I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And then I hit up a couple of my favorite restaurants of people who I've been speaking to about the food review game lately. And so that's how Teresa ended up on it. So going forward, I just got the flyer actually. I got the next one going on. Oh, sick, man. Yeah, and we got some good guests for that one. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Why do you think the food, like Instagrammers, like, it's like, I like how you called it out, man, because like the way you like said it and called it, like it was very like informative. You know what I mean? Like it was like a lot of these food bloggers, they don't disclose when they get paid. And they should be disclosing when they get paid. You know what I mean? Like people can't tell the difference. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like they can't tell the difference if someone's getting paid at a restaurant or they're not getting paid at a restaurant. The only thing that they would be able to tell is if it says like paid partnership or ad or, you know, paid for food or whatever, you know, like, oh, I'm partnering inside the video. And most of the time it's just like them sitting at a table or in their car and like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? But then like, there's like that whole other side now. It's like, it used to be like Yelp reviews. Like I was really thinking about this the other day. Remember when Yelp first came out? Yeah. And like people would just shit on restaurants and give them a 1 star. Like Yelp reviews don't matter anymore. Like nobody fucking uses Yelp anymore. Like barely, you know, like, but like Yelp was like a big deal back then, right? Yeah. And like I feel like that kind of just transferred into influencers like making reviews now, you know, for food and stuff. Yeah. What do you feel about that whole new scene? Just like that whole part of it, you know, because we've seen a lot of videos. You sent me a video the other day I watched, you know what I mean? Like we had the person in the bakery in Arizona went viral. But then you had like the chef in San Francisco that went viral. Speak on that.
I think that, first of all, it's just ignorance. And not in a negative way, just ignorance that you don't know. You just don't know that there's a requirement to disclose, right? Even small businesses don't have that knowledge. Obviously, if you have a big brand like Red Bull, they have attorneys and lawyers at the corporate level. They know that we got to make sure that disclosure is out there. But I think what happened was when the social media game first popped off and people started doing food things, you know, for example, like Bay Area Foods, I think is one of the big foodies to come out the Bay and make like really good engaging content with it. And everyone else saw it as like, oh, I could do that, right? You get into it, you start getting followers, you start getting engagement, and automatically, if you're at that low level of Maslow's hierarchy of motivation, you're thinking, I need to get paid. Does that make sense? Are you familiar with the Maslow's hierarchy of motivation?
No.
So Maslow's hierarchy of motivation, it's a pyramid. You can Google that.
Okay.
But at the very bottom is why you're doing something. And the very, very bottom is just living, surviving. So you need oxygen, you need food, you need sex, right? You start moving up that pyramid. At the very top of that pyramid is like creativity, art, community. It's at the very top. So everybody has different motivations for doing something. The social media game has a lot of younger people who are not established yet. They don't have a career. And so they're really operating at that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So obviously something pops off for you. People are seeing dollar signs, right? Unfortunately, the businesses get caught up in that because they see the guy across the street. He got a crowd over there. Hey, Mario, how'd you get that crowd? Oh, well, I paid this guy to come over and he did a video. It went viral. Then you look at it and you're like, wow, 100,000 views. So now I'm a restaurant owner. I'm like, hey, can you hook me up with him? Hey, I'll do the same thing. But the truth of the matter is, as content creators, we cannot guarantee that's going to pop off for you.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact, too, that crowd is temporary.
Yeah.
It goes away. I know this firsthand through my own experience with restaurants.
It's advertisement. As soon as the advertisement's done, then, you're going to have to run another one.
Exactly. It's like virality, right? Once you go viral, if you don't put out new content, new quality content, you're going to lose the engagement. And we've all seen that. Yeah. After you put out a video that goes millions of views. Yeah. Right. Even for me, I'm still chasing the millions of views because I've had that, But at the end of the day, it's just there's different reasons for motivation. And initially, we were looking at people like Anthony Bourdain, and they put out content. And everyone else that's coming into the game now, they're using the same format. Come with me. This is the best pizza place in San Francisco. But they're getting paid for it, or they're getting a free food experience for them and their friends. Does that make sense? It's just, again, it comes down to not really knowing the laws and also thinking about, I got to get paid.
And I feel like with that, comes a lot of lack of authenticity. Yeah. I feel like our videos do really well is because we're authentic. You know what I mean? I honestly, 2 months ago, I turned down $10,000 because I wasn't trying to put all that shit on my platform because I want to keep it authentic. I don't want to be like a fucking ads channel. There's people influencers who get famous and every single post they do is just an ad now. You know what I mean? And people see through that shit, then you lose your engagement. And the followers are they're always just trying to sell me some shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a very lack of authenticity. Even athletes, you go to a real athlete's page, any quarterback, the first 10 posts you look at, they're all going to be advertisements. They're not even real photos or you know what I mean, anything authentic, like a real quarterback of somebody real big. Yeah, I guarantee you, it's all advertisements on there.
Yeah, I think if I was looking at this right, I was looking at the regulations. If you're a famous athlete, it's actually a little bit different for you because if you're an athlete and you're using this product, it's kind of assumed by the audience that you're getting sponsored. Versus if you're just an influencer, a regular person going into this place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that's in there in the regulations.
And the term influencer, a lot of these people, I don't consider them influencers because they're not influencing anybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll consider them content creators. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here, they just make videos, especially the whole clout chasey or clickbaity or, you know what I mean? They get views, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't really consider a lot of these people influencers. Somebody that's an influencer really influences people to either go somewhere, do something, be a certain way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've really played out that term influencer. I don't like calling myself an influencer. when I get introduced, I'm often called an influencer, but I don't call myself an influencer.
Yeah,
I'm just being me.
Yeah, and it's like kind of a go-to. I don't really like being called an influencer. In certain lights, like spotlights, I could see myself. You know what I mean? Like if like last week, I went to Oakland to go do like a speech for kids, young kids.
Yeah.
Like talking about like turning your passion into purpose using social media.
I love that.
And right there, I could see myself as influencing because I'm influencing somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm influencing these young men to go out and pursue a passion in social media, whether they want to or, you know, they could do whatever they want, you know, but just turning their passion into purpose.
Let me ask you a question. Why did you do that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like
Do you feel like you have a responsibility with your platform?
low key, I do. Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Like, I got an email and they told me like, this is what it's about. And, you know, I didn't even think they were going to pay me. They ended up paying me later on. You know what I mean? Like in the contract, I was like, when I talked to them, I was like, I'm just going to do it for free. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm going and talking to young men in Oakland. There's a whole day for like 6th grade to like 12th graders. And there's like different things, and whether it's art or they did like a whole like a jiu-jitsu thing. They did ice baths, you know, and my part was like coming to be a speaker. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I'll talk to these kids, you know, and help me become a speaker. And I don't know, like just give back to like the community, you know what I mean? And like young men, like somebody could look up to, you know what I mean? Like, and like when I went there, it was actually pretty cool, you know, like a lot of kids were like receptive. And like, I even saw a couple kids that were in some of my videos, you know, like it's from San Francisco.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, it was like, I don't know, like, I just felt like, I didn't feel like I had to, but there's just something inside of me that I wanted to, you know what I mean?
Does being a father affect how you do content?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it does for me. It's a huge reason of why I move the way I do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think me and you can relate on this. It's like, I can't just put anything out there now.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't just like, before I had my son, I was doing content and it was way different than what I post now.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, not in a business meeting, but I was talking to this guy at some events and he worked for YouTube. And he's like, you know, think about your future and like what you want your kids to see. You know what I mean?
No.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. You know, and now I would say 3 years ago, I would say my Instagram was kind of like a little bit more R-rated, you know, a little bit more raunchy. But now all my content is PG-13. Like it's all PG-13. If there's cuss words, I'll bleep the cuss word out. You know what I mean? I don't talk about drugs. I don't talk about sex. You know, every now and then I'll have like a little some, you know, it'll be like there because it is reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not like going up to people and like, would you cheat on your girlfriend if this and this and this? Like some stupid ass question like that. You know what I mean? Like some clickbaity shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I need to lead by example. Like, you know what I mean? And I get a lot of respect from that too. There's a lot of people that come up to me and like, Mara, I love what you do. Everything you do is like just so positive. It's funny. You know what I mean? Like I don't involve myself in like street politics. You know what I mean? Like I've made hood vlogs, but like I'm not like in the video like, who's the other side? What do you do? You know what I mean? Like I'm not like instigating shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stirring the pot or whatever. But like I don't know, like and I just want to be respected too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're doing like stupid videos like that, and everyone makes a stupid video.
Right.
You know, everyone makes a video that they kind of regret. You know, I've had like tons of videos where I've just taken down because I'm just like, that's just not me anymore. You know what I mean? Or like, I just like, I don't really want that to be out there anymore. You know, I've taken tons of them down, you know? So just being the person like I want people to remember me by. I could die today on my way home for whatever reason, you know, hopefully not. But like,
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like people will be like, remember that guy? Like he was a good person.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. You know?
I think about legacy.
Absolutely.
A lot. Legacy. I think about legacy. What are you leaving behind? And as a parent, I think that's where we relate a lot. In fact, my audience, the majority of my audience is something like between the age of 35 and 60. Like my biggest category, I think, is like 35 to 45. Then it's like 45 to 55. I actually have, I think, more 60-year-olds than 18-year-olds follow me. It's in my stats. And I think the reason why we relate to each other is because, number one, we see each other, right? Regardless if it's Filipino, Latino, Black, Samoan, whatever. Like, oh, I relate to this person. But I think about leadership by example, just like you said. I'm leaving behind content that if I were to perish, get hit by a car crossing the street, when my kids get older, that's what they're going to be looking at. So what legacy did I leave behind for my kids? That's a huge motivation for how I move.
Yeah. And, you know, being a parent definitely molds you into that. You know what I mean? Because, like, before kids, like, I wouldn't say, like, I was a loose cannon. You know what I mean? But there definitely are people, you know what I mean? And people that are age that don't have kids definitely move a lot different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We all have urges, right? We all have human urges to go wild, go crazy. One of my homeboys, shout out to Max, was telling me on his food game one time. It's kind of funny because when this whole, like, the Carla Lab thing and all these other influencers were using their social media clout to tear down businesses, he was like, man, you need to go hit him up and go Tupac on him. Straight up. It's my homie Max. It's my big brother. And I said, Max, Tupac was 26 when he died. I'm 46. I can't move like that. But I do want to address the situation, which is why we were thinking about the panels, which actually led to myself, you, Tito, Teresa, and Tuck getting on the live. I want to address it in a positive way, dialogue. We're going to have difficult conversation. And I'm a big believer in that. Can we have difficult conversation where we have conflict and resolve it without taking it to the streets? People like us don't really know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get into a traffic incident outside, and now there's a conflict, and I'm blaming you and you're blaming me, but can we resolve this without getting a fight? Yeah. I really want to show that example of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And how many kids you have again?
I got 3.
You got 3 kids.
Yeah, I got 2 adults, 2 in college, and I got a 9-year-old.
Man.
Yeah.
So you've been in the dad game for a minute.
Man, yeah.
I'm pretty new to the dad game. What's some advice you could give me for a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old?
Oh, man, a big one that's been coming to mind, not only with my adults, because parenting adults is different than parenting a 9-year-old or a 5-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say this, just to be really general, be open-minded. Same way I suggest as a foodie being open-minded, be open-minded about being a parent. Don't be so rigid. I always seek knowledge from my kuyas, my older brothers. And even when I ask them, I'm like, can you give me some coaching for how to parent an adult? Because I still want to parent my adults. Does that make sense?
I don't think parenting ends.
It doesn't end.
I'm 36 and I still hit my dad up for advice.
Exactly.
I still contact my mom for advice.
And that's a beautiful thing that you have going on because not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Some people, they're not getting parental advice, guidance from their parents anymore. They maybe outgrew their parents, right? Yeah. So I want to continually evolve so I can parent my children through difficult parts in life. So being patient, being open-minded, not being rigid, and evolving with them, right? Instead of being stuck in that mentality that from the way that we were raised, right? Like, for example, I used to get spanked.
Yeah.
I'm Filipino.
Yeah.
I used to get reps. I was talking to my pops about this, and I was like, yo, I used to get, 100 lashings with the belt. My dad is like, you're over-exaggerating. I said, well, for a 5-year-old, it sure felt like 100 lashes. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I don't believe in spanking my kids. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I had a situation with my eldest when he was a teenager where I lashed out. He was talking back to me, and we was in the vehicle, and I snatched the boba out of his hand and made a mess. And we went to a store later on. He took off, ran away. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know where he was for like almost 20 hours or so like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that taught me, like, chill, chill. Yeah. You know what I mean? So again, being patient. I'm not perfect, but again, I'm just trying to be open-minded, and also too, like you're a younger parent, but there might be something that you do well that I like. You know what I'm saying? So I'll ask you about that. Same thing with the content creator game, right? I'm 46. How old are you again?
36.
But how much game have I gotten from you? You know, not only have I asked you about it, but, you know, watching you when you invited me to do the food thing in the Mission District, and then you allowed me to follow you as you did your interviewing. I'm watching Freddie. I'm watching how he holds the camera. I'm watching how you engage with people. I soaked up so much game from that. So again, parenting, like, let's evolve. Let's soak game.
Yeah. Definitely, man. How we looking on time, Freddie? Always gotta check the time. So
Yeah.
An hour and a half is probably. You know what I mean, what's the difference between parenting boys and girls, and how are you tackling that? You know, because you've like some of your kids are like adults now, like you said. So that phase between boys and girls.
You know, I don't think it's a boy-girl thing.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna say that my son, my eldest one, he's pretty easy to parent. No kid is perfect, right? But for the most part, like when I tell him something, he listens. My daughter, for instance, shout out to my daughter. I love you, baby girl. But, you know, more like how I was when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? I give guidance. There's always talking back. And my little one is just totally different. You know, he's not afraid of me because I'm a different parent. You know, I think I put PTSD on my older kids. You know, I was a younger parent. With my newer one, I'm a lot softer, you know. I mean, that's fine. That comes with evolution. But I would say it's not a gender thing, but more of a personality thing. Like, you have to know your child. Early on, I recognized that, you know, because I do believe that, and this is something I learned when I was younger, but if your young child does something dangerous, you know, you swat their hand or something like that. Nothing crazy, you know, you just, hey, no, you know, maybe a little pat on the butt, right? I did it to my son. Actually, I used to put my son in the corner. When he used to do something bad, I used to put him in the corner. I said, go stand in the corner. He would go in the corner and cry. I would have my daughter do the same thing. She could chill there forever and she'd fall asleep in the corner. So they're different, right? But some people, it's the other way. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely am. I'm like trying to like reprimand my son. He's just like laughing in my face. My daughter's like crying. I was just like, damn it, that doesn't work on you.
Yeah, you know, one thing I think is important is not to break their spirit. I think that's one thing that I'm thinking of. You know, like if your kid is loud and boisterous and speaks, don't break that. You know, I think that's so important in society.
Yeah, because, you know, it says like they're comfortable in their home. You know, like sometimes like, you know, my kids be screaming. I'm like, but I'm just like, I kind of just like let it happen. You know, but then not too long. But I'm just like, I let them do them because it's like they're comfortable. You know, like they feel comfortable enough to act like that. Because like when a kid's too quiet, they say they're just like in fear all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. You know what I noticed for my kids is the way my two adults are. Their personalities are exactly the same from when they were babies. For me, it hasn't changed.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Like, for instance, my son has always been observant. He's still the same exact way. You know, he's like an old soul. Like, I remember when my son had a speech impediment. We had to take him to a special school because I don't think he knew how to use his mouth correctly, right? And he would drool a lot when he was young, when he was like 2 or something. So he had like delayed speech. But he was so sharp that I could give him a DVD and he would take it and not touch it. And he wasn't even walking it because he also was delayed with his walking, but he crawled like a monkey. He could climb and everything. And he'd go over to the thing and then he would put it in, not touching the DVD. You know what I'm saying? And he's still the same way as an adult. Like, I always get compliments from people like, man, your son is like an old soul. You know what I mean? Still very observant and stuff like that. My daughter, she always been kind of mean. You know what I mean? When kind of cold a little bit. You know, when she was young, I used to try to get her like sit on my lap or hold her hand. She don't want to hold my hand, you know? Even till this day, when I see her, I try to greet her with a kiss and she's kind of like, where my son, on the other hand, you know, all lovable. He's always been like that. Little one, he's just wild. You know, we call him Bam Bam. Yeah, because he literally acts like that. But I have a clip that I post from time to time where my daughter is filming him in the jiu-jitsu gym actually at Ralph Gracie, San Francisco. And I guess he didn't like what she was telling him, which was just like, sit here or be quiet. And he smacks the camera. You know what I'm saying? So the camera's up and he's smacking the camera, right? Well, the dude still does things like that. Yeah, so just personality-wise, it doesn't really change.
How do you feel about people that like I wouldn't say people, I would say like influencers in that space, like putting videos and pictures of like their kids on the internet?
Yeah, I think if your kids are okay with it, then it's fine. But you have to understand, like I put my kids on the internet when they're okay with it. My little one is all into it, you know. He'd be holding the camera for me sometimes, or he'll, you know, describe the food or whatever. He has a little thumbs up, thumbs down, sideways thing he does, you know. And he knows when he doesn't like something. I think it's fine if they're into it. But for instance, my daughter, she doesn't like being in it. My son, there was a time he was into it, and then we had a video that kind of went viral. We were actually at Ceremony parking lot in Daly City, and we were walking, and we started wrestling a little bit. And I told my daughter, I said, hey, film this, right? So we were doing a little wrestling, and the video went lightweight viral, right? And there was a lot of comments from strangers. He didn't like that. So I think that kind of shot him away from the game. He don't really like being in front of the camera now.
Yeah.
So I would just say it's like, do they give you permission to? Are they into it? Yeah.
What about like kids that are like not old enough to give permission? You know what I mean? Like I have a couple couples that had kids and like they do like family videos or whatever. You know what I mean? I would say kind of almost like exploiting. You know what I mean? For like views.
Yeah.
I don't know if exploiting is the right word, but it definitely feels like that.
Yeah. Can you give an example of it?
You know, like family vlogs, like every video is like them or the kids are in it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these people have like millions of followers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Those are the big money influencers.
You know, like personally, like me, before I was doing what I was doing vlogs, right? And we did a lot of vlogs of like getting ready to have my kid, right? Like, whoa, we're putting the crib together, we're putting the room together, and these videos were going viral. And then as soon as my son was born, like I had a whole audience almost built up that way, like on TikTok. And then like as soon as my son was born, I was like, I'm not showing anybody.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not putting my son out there. Yeah. And then even people were asking like, when are you gonna show your family? Da, 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 da. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just like taking a different approach with this social media thing. You know
I feel that. For me, I think I don't like to. People gonna do what they do, right? Personally, I don't feel like the audience, strangers, should know everything about me. Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, even with my private account before this Adonis Eats thing, because I've only been doing it for 2 years, right? I was very active on it, right? And I had friends and family who were following me. I never posted about my wife's pregnancy with the last one. Never. You know how some people, they'll post, like, the pregnancy kit test. Yeah. They'll post pictures, right, from the... what do you call it, a mammogram or whatever like that? Yeah. So, yeah, I never did any of that. I purposely kept it off. And so one day we were like at the mall and I ran into some friends who we heavily engaged with online. And she was like, I think he was already, I think he was walking already. She was like, who is this? I kind of like that. It creates this mysteriousness to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me personally, I like that. So I like to keep some things off the internet. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know I have kids. A lot of people are like, you have kids? Yeah.
I think there's power in that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't believe that you should show everything. I mean, we talked about lives before, right? And it's something I might consider in the future, right? But a big thing for me about lives is safety. I'm big on my safety.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And live, I feel like it's like a younger cat game. You know what I mean? It's like for younger people or whatever. That's why I started the podcast. I'm like, how can I age into this media thing? There's tons of old guys with podcasts. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how can I age into this? So we started this now. But we might still be doing the lives too.
Yeah. You know yeah. I mean, you're a full-time creator, so I think that would be definitely something I considered if I was a full-time creator. But I'd probably have a security guy around or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I might have to hire one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just somebody who knows like Kung Fu or some
shit. Yeah, something. Someone who looks tough. You know what I'm saying? Big guy. You know what I mean? Get an Uso to hang out with you.
Right? I get one of those.
Yeah. I mean, Speed, he comes around, he has security, and he has local guys that he puts on his team.
When we went to go follow Speed, like I was like, like 6 Usos around him. You know what I mean?
And local respected guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I was messaging one of them, you know. So I think that's important, and it's also important too for the culture, right? Like you have local guys that are taking you around that are respected.
Absolutely, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, I got this cards from the Diary of a CEO. I got it from the CMO, from the Diary of the CMO, the CMO from the Diary of a CEO, and I always end the podcast with getting a random card from the deck and then asking you a question.
Okay.
And that's just how I've been ending the podcast. And there's no order. I'm just going to pick a random one. What did you learn from your greatest failure?
What did I learn from my greatest failure? I've had a lot of failures in life, and what I've realized is this. When you can come from your failure and come back up from it, you're going to be stronger. You're going to be better than before. Our failures are where we really grow. That's where we get better. So use your losses as an opportunity to grow.
Always, man. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, Adonis.
Thank you, my guy.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Guys, follow him on Instagram, TikTok.
Lightweight TikTok, but more Instagram, yeah.
Follow my guy on Instagram, man. We might have to get you on the YouTube soon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. Until next time, we out. Peace.